Yo, America, planet Earth, what's good? This is your boy Codell, and welcome back to another episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. Got a banger today. Going to be doing a review of this lovely lady, and she says, BW, pick your failure. So, BW, I'm assuming she's talking about black women and account for it. But I like this video because she's pretty much holding all women accountable for their behavior. Anyways, let's get into it. But before we do, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell. All right, let's check this out.
Hey y'all. So it's been a minute. Just wanted to get on here and talk to y'all for a couple of seconds. Wow, it was fresh on my mind. I just finished making my lunch. I prayed over and all that, and I just thought I'd talk to y'all real quick while I eat. Um, but yeah, like I said, I already prayed over the food. It's blessed. Um, but I was just thinking, as I was sitting down watching some stuff on TV.
It's kind of random, but it's kind of funny. She was just talking about she's thinking how blessed she is, and then it just reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, I need to pray real quick, do a little prayer in my head to for God to just help guide me through this show and everything else in life. But anyways, I know that's kind of random. Let's keep going. God, you're the best.
We as Black women, we got to pick our failure. So people may say, Brianna, what do you mean by pick your failure? What I'm saying is,
Okay, so she's talking about how black women need to pick their failure, and she's talking about, being self accountable, for your own screw ups, And I agree, but I like this because this message really honestly can apply to, and I'm generalizing here obviously, but to American women, And anyways, yeah, this is good stuff. Let's keep going.
there's a lot of women, especially online, and I'm talking about us right now. They're just sitting around talking about how bad Black men are, the usual, the stuff that we hear all the time. And it's different women with different talking points about, oh, don't have babies with Black men. Um, Black men ruin lives, just all of these ridiculous like tropes that we hear all the time.
And it's so true when it comes to the tropes, and not even just for black men, but like for white men or whatever. Well, I mean, I've been accused through my family court situation of being a white supremacist, even though my son's half black, and all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, there's definitely this huge attack against men, and it's honestly been going on for a long time, several decades, to be completely honest. If you do your research, um, you'll see that it really started kind of becoming a thing in the 60s. But anyways, yeah, they just society, media, the news, everything, entertainment, all of it. And sadly too, just the general attitude of a lot of American women look at men as not having any value. We're basically objects to take from. And it's pretty messed up, man. It's pretty messed up. But anyways, let's keep going.
And when I'm listening to this, all I'm thinking to myself is, okay, y'all say Black men are the problem. We've heard everything to nauseam about why that is, right? And how y'all feel that way. And how you shouldn't date them, you shouldn't marry them, you shouldn't procreate with them. But what we're also leaving out is we create the Black men.
Mm.
A lot of Black men are raised by single mothers,
Mm.
last time that I checked. So it's our influence that's
Man, that's so true, and again, I kind of apply this just to the American family in general, because 40% of American families are 40% of the American families, so the kids are living in one parent households, and 90% of those one parent households are the moms. And so almost half the American population is a broken home. And I mean, we have the most broken homes in the world, and they like to call fatherless homes, but I don't like applying. I rather apply the term I don't know, like just single mom homes, an epidemic of single mom homes, because most men, if we're not in our children's lives, it's not because we don't want to be. It's 9 times out of 10 the family court's keeping us from being in our kids' lives. So yeah, I like what this girl's saying, just doing some self-reflecting, looking in the mirror and being like, what can I do better? But anyways, let's keep going.
creating the type of Black men that we complain about. So, where is the failure? Is the failure in the fact that you're dating them and that you're procreating with them, or is the failure that you're creating them? Regardless, we're the ones that's failing. Clearly, we're doing something wrong here. If we're the one producing these men that are so terrible, as you say, that are such bad fathers, that are all of these things that you say they are, where do they get it from? They clearly get it from us because we're the ones raising them. We're the ones creating them. How can we sit up and complain?
Again, like she just said, it's women who they're the ones, and she's talking about Black women right here. But again, I apply this to American women in general. They're the ones creating these single homes. They're the ones raising these children without the fathers in their lives. And most of the time, these women that are doing that, not all of them, but the majority of them are choosing, they are intentionally doing everything they can to keep the dads out of the home. And that's why I appreciate that I'm seeing just there's definitely a shift in the matrix going on. There's a conscientious shift right now. And I'm seeing more and more women like this young lady right here speaking up about this issue. And it's good because yeah, we got to move forward. We got to get our families back in order. That's simple. Anyways, let's keep going.
About the very men that we make? Just it makes no sense. Like I really don't understand. Like, how is it that we're mad
I'm not gonna lie, that food looks pretty good. Anyways.
about our own creation? But nobody is sitting up saying, "Oh, I'm a bad mom. Oh, I'm a bad parent." All we're doing is blaming and talking crap about.
That's such a good point. Again, it's no one, they're not taking self responsibility. And I always bring up this stat, but again, 90% of the prison population is from single mom homes, it's from single mother homes. So the the evidence is there. I mean, there's no denying the evidence. And again, this is not even the vast majority of women. It's just the way the courts are set up. It empowers these narcissistic women to be able to take advantage of the system, which allows them to create these broken homes. So with the help of the courts, so the courts and these crazy women coming together, they're breaking up the homes, and it's got to stop. But anyways, let's keep going. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell.
The men that we raise, the boys that we raise, the like, I just don't understand what's the disconnect here. If one thing is true, then all of it has to be true. I don't think any of this mess is true. Um, I'm not saying that Black men are perfect. I'm not saying that men are perfect, but we're just as flawed as them, if not more. And my main
Hey man, that's such an important point, because again, like I know it sounds like I'm harping on American women, and I kind of am to a certain extent. But like men and women aren't perfect, but the difference is men, we take responsibility and society forces us to take responsibility. women don't necessarily have to do that. All you have to do is look at the family court stats as far as who wins custody, who ends up with sole custody. All you have to do is look at divorce rates, the divorce courts, look up those stats. Yeah, I mean, I think it's 70% of divorces are initiated by the woman, and so, and again, that's that group of narcissistic women. They know how the system's set up. They know they can take advantage of it, and they do. They're basically, I mean, they're just weaving this web. They're Jezebels. But let's keep going. This lady's killing it.
And so point is like, because we're all flawed as human, we're all messed up, we're all cause and effect. But the fact is, if you're telling me that black men are so bad and a large portion of black men are raised in single female-led household with by a single mother, by
That hurts. I mean, it hurts. Like, it makes me sad how many little kids there are being raised in these single mother households when they don't have to be. When they don't have to be. They're only being raised this way, again, because of the way the system's set up, Title 4D, the courts, all that. And yeah, it just breaks my heart. Let's keep going.
a bunch of women around them, black women, we also have to say, okay, we're terrible parents. We're bad mothers. We produce bad outcomes because one cannot be true without the other. But I don't hear anybody online saying that they're a bad mom. Nobody's saying that. So I'm just really sitting here.
It's interesting because I mean, overall, she's right. But like I was saying at the start of the video, there is a shift going on. There's a conscientious shift going on right now. And her speaking up herself, talking about this, is evidence of that shift. Like, people are starting to take notice of this broken home shit, and people are starting to realize, hey, there's an issue going on in the family courts. There's an issue going on with all these broken homes. We've got to do something about this. It hasn't blown up yet, but it is trending upwards. So yeah, uh, man, God bless this woman. Let's keep going.
Confused. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And I'm honestly just tired of it. I'm tired. It's old. It's old.
Super old, man. I mean, it's super old, and it's like that saying. I bet most of you have heard this: happy wife, happy life. That's I mean, that's really what the mentality in our country has been since the 60s, and it's a terrible mentality because think how selfish that sounds. I mean, say it: happy wife, happy life. It's a very selfish saying. And this is the mentality that our country and the culture that our country has embraced since the 60s. But it's starting to show some cracks, but it's we got to keep pushing forward and that selfish philosophy, because it's about the family. That's really what I'm trying to say. It's not happy wife, happy life. It's not happy husband, happy life. It's like, it's a family. A family is, a family works together. A family helps each other. A family is there for one another. Anyways, let's keep going.
And it's tired and it's outdated. My main point is one cannot be true without the other.
Mm,
And I just really
amen.
pray for more accountability on us. We cannot complain about the people that we made without taking accountability for the fact that we made them if they are so bad. I don't think they're what y'all are saying they are. But if you subscribe to that, you need to also subscribe to the fact that you, single black mother, raised this.
Okay, so I can really relate to that. It kind of, like, this sounds really weird, but it makes me think back to childhood because I was raised by a single mom, and growing up, I was constantly told, like, you're a piece of shit like your father. you're this, you're that, and like growing up for me, my mom, and I love my mom, but she has to this day she still has that mentality where um she is she doesn't she's a man hater. I wish I could come up with better words to use, but you know and I was the only boy in the family, and it was just like it was freaking crazy, man. Like it was crazy. But anyways, let's keep going.
It's created this. So whatever results you're getting, whatever you feel about Black men, is your fault. It's your fault. You got to pick your poison. You got to pick your failure. Where did you fail? Did you fail in dating, or did
Man, that's so clutch too, because and that's not just even true for just women, but that's true for men as well. Like we have to do a better job of holding ourselves to a higher standard, meaning we have to make sure we pick better partners. If we're gonna be with someone, we really gotta take time to figure out their character and know who they really are, because I mean, sex, like again, and this is where I have to take self responsibility. Like I'm in my mess in the family courts because I did it the modern way, as in, didn't know this person all that well, moved super fast, never got married. And within like a year, she was pregnant, and now I've been in the family courts for 6 going on 7 years. But anyways, yeah, this lady's she's speaking a lot of truth.
you fail in parenting? Did you fail in creation? It's okay to admit that. It's okay. I don't know why we feel like we have to be perfect. Like we can admit that we're wrong and we mess up. If you're a bad mom, just say that.
It's facts. Like you're never gonna grow if you're not, taking responsibility for your shortcomings, and you're not working towards improving yourself. And we're all sinners, we all fall short, but it doesn't mean we can't continually be checking ourselves, working on ourselves. And when I say checking ourselves, I mean, like be self-aware. So, let's say you do something bad, whatever it may be, some type of bad behavior, have enough self-awareness to try to be more aware of certain things that are going to possibly trigger you or whatever, and just figure out ways to avoid those triggers, but in a positive way. Like you can't just avoid things, but find not avoid, find better ways to deal with whatever these triggers are, and be more self-aware. So, but yeah, let's keep going, you guys. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit.
If you didn't raise a son to be a good Black man, and even if it's not you personally, if your sisters are failing, if your sisters are bad moms, because if you're saying that all these Black men are so terrible, that also means you have to hold your sisters accountable who
Mm,
created them and raised them.
right. Like again, facts. I mean, even if you're in a relationship and the other side is, you know, doing all sorts of crazy things, you still have to take responsibility for the fact that you chose to lay with that person, and now you're in the situation you're in, and I mean, again, I've had to do that with myself. Like, man, I came to terms with that many years ago now. So, all right, let's keep going.
It can't just be, oh, they're so bad. Where does this stuff come from? It's like y'all just stand around looking for somebody to blame instead of us getting to the root of the problem. If you really cared, if you really felt like oh, these black men are terrible. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our parts and their parts so we can come to some solutions. I rarely hear anybody talking like that.
Mm.
It's just always a bunch of victim.
And that's such an important point. Again, it's all about being able to communicate and talk with one another is so important because no matter how good of a relationship you have with someone, whether it's a friendship, a lover, whatever, there's still always going to be disagreements, and so people on both sides, men and women, have to be able to come to the table and openly start communicating with one another and basically, figure things out. But, anyways, let's keep going.
Mentality and blaming and talking crap, but nobody's saying their part. Nobody's saying, "Hey, I'm a bad parent. Hey, I should have stayed with their dad because they needed a male influence. They don't know how to be a man because I tried to raise them by themselves."
And this is so important. Again, like 90% of the prison population comes from a single mother household. It's just facts. The suicide rates amongst children from single mother households much higher. The rate of poverty much higher. The rate of teen pregnancy much higher. All of it, all these negative outcomes come from single motherhood. And with boys, it messes boys and girls up differently. It destroys both boys and girls. It really, for both them, it can really have a negative impact on their ability to have healthy, functioning relationships, especially like with the opposite sex. Um, but with boys, man, I mean, again, I know because I was raised by a single mom. Like, you don't have when you're growing up without some type of male role model to show you how to conduct yourself, how to deal with your emotions properly, how to process things, how the world works in general, how to work hard, plan things out, so on and so on. When you don't have that as a little boy and you're only being raised by a single mom, you're much more likely to be emotional as a man because all you've seen and as a boy because all you have seen growing up is the way the mother reacts. And women, good or bad women are more emotional creatures. Like and it's not that men don't have emotions, we have plenty of emotions, but we're definitely programmed to operate a little more logically, with that, like that's something, and I'm not saying that to disrespect women, that women can operate logically, but I think in general, women have to be more self-aware and self-check themselves more than men do to make sure they stay operating from from through logic instead of emotions. But yeah. Anyways, let's keep going, you guys. Like this video. All right.
Nobody's saying that. Everybody's just acting like, oh, they just mothered so perfect. And oh, yeah, these black men are so bad, but they just got bad all on their own. Us women, we had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Like, we're not the one raising them. Like, we're not the ones creating them. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy. It makes no sense. It's sad. I'm tired of just
It's super crazy. I mean, it's super crazy. But anyways, let's keep going, you guys.
feeling all this pressure of just being around people who don't want to see themselves and having to listen to people treat me like I'm crazy and like I'm stupid and like I got three heads because I just see the fact that this none of this makes sense. It just doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to get on here, talk to y'all for a few minutes. I love y'all, I miss y'all. Hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, it's crazy out here. It's real crazy. Black women, pick your failure. Yeah, black men.
Anyways, yeah, so that's the video, guys. So her name's Brianna Gazelle. I'm not sure if I'm saying her last name correctly, but there's a link to her YouTube channel in the description box. And let me know if you guys want me to reach out to her and book her for an interview, because I really think it's important to highlight women like this and give them, and I mean, obviously she's got more subscribers than we do, but like, we're growing, and we're getting there, and we want to make sure, like, one of our contributions is to make sure that we basically build this large coalition of like-minded mothers and fathers and grandparents and so on all around the country who aren't afraid to call out the bullshit going on with our families here in America. And the more women we have like this, who are willing to call out the bad behavior of their female counterparts, the better it is for our society, because this is really, it helps. The more women that are speaking up, this helps men's issues actually move forward, specifically when it comes to dealing with family courts and divorce courts. Because the government, let's face it, the truth is the government tends to listen to women more. And a lot of that has to do because women usually tend to vote in higher numbers, but there is a shift going on now right now. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, it's really important to highlight women like this, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, I'm thankful we got ladies like this, and God bless this woman. But anyways, you guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. Make sure you smash that like button, comment, hit that notification bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyways, until next episode, you guys, I'm out. I love you. God loves you. Peace.
Here comes Max. Whoa, yeah. Was that fun?
God, I'm an out to my very last breath. Bless my son, my love never ends. Max, Papa loves you, I'm troubled by